All right, well, let's see if I got any emails about this. So now that you've seen what Toastmasters looks like, and you haven't been able to explore that much, did you have any questions with my presentation at all for how that's going to affect your club?
No, not yet, because I'm basically just too ignorant right now. I mean, I know I've got to be responsive and help people, and it's actually Pathways is because I'm the vice president of education. It's me. So
it's me as in
that's one of my duties that I have to do.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what, and let me share this again.
And actually, I'm really grateful that you are the Pathways, that you're the district person, because it's like, oh, she can help me.
So this is the start of what Pathways looks like and how I got here. Have you been able to log in to Toastmasters.org?
Oh, yes, many times. Yes.
Okay. So when you go to education and you hit Pathways, it's going to bring you to begin your journey. And it's going to send you here. And the navigator, this is how you read it online. And what's nice about this is, and actually let me launch it and hopefully you'll be able to see it. Oh, good. With Pathways, they have the navigator, which tells you about the club, and it tells you about the officer roles, as well as okay, so let's bring this so you can actually see it here. There we go. And it obviously will look bigger, but and it will actually take up the whole page. But this goes through and talks about the benefits of Toastmasters, which is nice. So you can see how it benefited different people. And then how to walk through the journey of Pathways itself. And then go to the next page. I'm not going to go through all this because you can read it yourself.
Yeah.
But it goes through a lot of different topics, which is nice for new members, but it also, with Pathways itself, right here is where it starts talking about Pathways and Basecamp, starting your journey on Basecamp. This is where it's going to help the people who've already been a Toastmaster for many years, is to learn about the new program.
Okay.
So this is why I would recommend reading the navigator if you are a current member, because it talks about something you may not know much about.
Okay.
And then, oh no, and I closed everything out. I need to go back to this. Right, 1 second. My thing is not letting me launch my Google. Ha! There we go. The other thing that I was going to show you, if I can get back onto Toastmasters, is how to change your how to work with the assessment, because the assessment is something that might be something that people have some questions about, especially in our club specifically. So here we go. Share my screen. We're back to the path, and the path selection. The first thing, like usual, is which path you're gonna choose from, and then when you select which way you go, obviously you have to choose which language. Right now there's only two.
English and Chinese.
Yes, simplified Chinese specifically. You go through all of these questions, and what is important here is really focusing on what you care about. And I think that's the thing that people are going to need to think about before they take the assessment, is what do I really want to get out of this?
About being a Toastmaster, basically. That's basically what it is, right?
Yeah. And what specifically do you want to get out of being a Toastmaster? So if you're doing this for work, and what your work is negotiating deals with different companies, then negotiation and leadership might be something that you really want to focus on. But if your goal is to work in a coaching, then with psychology, then obviously coaching and maybe interpersonal communication would be really what you're wanting to work on. So it depends on what you want to get out of Toastmasters specifically. And then when you log in, because I've already chosen my path, then...
What path did you choose?
I chose the, and actually I can show it to you.
I just think it would be interesting.
Yeah, I chose innovative planning. And that was the plan, the path that was suggested for me. And what this one really worked on, I can show you starting on level 3, is the proposal, and then it also had managing the projects, which I really liked, because what I'm doing right now is I'm running the PR campaign for our club, and that is something that I want to focus on, and something that I'm really passionate about is trying to get our club out to the people around us. And that's something that this plan specifically, path, is going to work with. And let me show you some of the elective projects that this has. And this, you can choose any of these. It doesn't matter how many you choose. You can choose all 12. You are only required to choose 2 of these.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And there are elective projects for level 3, level 4, and level 5, and they're different for all of those. They've selected some different ones for you. And as you can see, there are different levels of complexity as well. Like moderating an entire panel is different than with level 3. You have delivering a social speech. So they tried to bring you up with complexity throughout the projects. And as you can see, you can access when you start level 1, and I've actually completed the icebreaker, but even once I've when I started, I could launch evaluating and researching and presenting.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I can't complete it until I've completed the level. But once you've completed that, these should open for you. So you could start with all 3 of these. But you can't, and you can start the elective projects. When you get to level 3, you can start the elective projects before you've completed the required project. The other thing that's different, and I know you specifically haven't worked with the competent communicator for a long time in the traditional program, but one thing that is different, and I will show it to you here because I had it because it's in the resources, is look at my transcript. One of the projects that I've looked at, and mostly what I've done here is just launched quite a few project descriptions that I've seen just to get a feel of what it was before, so I could talk to people when I was presenting.
Mm-hmm.
But this is focused on the positive, which is one that I really like. I think it's a smart one to work with. But this one you have to work with for a minimum of 2 weeks. So that's different from what you have seen in the competent communicator, where you can just write a speech the night before if you so desired, and then give it. Whereas this one, you could fake it, but you're supposed to be doing it for 2 weeks beforehand.
Yeah. Other people could fake it. I probably couldn't. I'm not very good at that. I'm just kidding you. But I really couldn't.
Well, and then for another one that takes a bit longer, this one is writing a blog, which is one that is completely different from anything you see in the traditional program, because blogs are not involved in.
Right, because this is speaking, it's not writing.
Yeah, this is writing a blog for 1 month minimum.
Wow.
And you have to do 8 blog posts in that month, which isn't ginormous. But the goal of this is to show the impact of this blog that you've created. And so that's something that is new and that people need to work with and see before they start their speech on this, obviously. One thing, and I'm actually going to go back to the focus on the positive for you to know as a VPE, because I know it's in this one. This one you will see requires a project completion form.
Oh, and that's what I was going to ask you about that. And if I should wait and then ask you later, I can do that. But it seems like from what I'm seeing that this is more the members do their own stuff and the VP of Education doesn't have to do a whole bunch of stuff. Or am I misinterpreting? Because you mark when you complete it and so on and so forth.
So when you mark complete, and actually if you want to right now, because are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on the computer.
If you go onto Toastmasters.org and go to your Basecamp Manager, you will probably see my my icebreaker on there. But the project completion form specifically is the one that's different. That means that you can't see what they have done. What normally is you can see what they've written, you can see what they've done, and then you can see how they've completed it. The project completion form is specific to stuff like focus on the positive, where it may have a personal nature to it and the person may not want to share it with everyone.
Yeah, I see.
Like I don't necessarily want to turn over my journal to you to read.
No, I don't, and I don't want to read it.
Exactly. So that's why they created the project completion form. And I can actually go here, and I think I can. Oh, that was nice. Oh, well, that's nice. I think it should be on here for maybe under Basecamp Manager.
Are you our Basecamp manager?
You are.
Oh, I am. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, the VPE, the president, and the secretary are considered Basecamp managers.
Okay.
And the thing with that actually is with the Basecamp managers, it's one email. So the 3 officers have to agree on a single email to put in as the main email that gets all the information from Pathways when someone completes a project.
Okay.
And so what TI was suggesting is maybe to make a generic email for the 3 of you to access, because it's doubtful that the president wants to share their personal email with the other 2.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
But the other thing with that is just frequently checking may be the answer to that, because, well, you have to have an email, but frequently checking the Pathways on your Basecamp Manager site will show you who's completed projects. And if your group is not really active every week on Basecamp, then maybe just checking once a week would be fine, and not having to worry about who has an email.
Yeah.
But if your group is really active, then an email definitely could become an issue.
Toastmasters has gone to a lot of work to do this, haven't they?
Yep, they've been working on this for 7 years.
Wow.
They've been doing a lot of pilots to try to make sure everything is ready. All right, well, it looks like the project completion form is not here. But what that looks like is just essentially you write the title, so focus on positive. You write the date you completed it, and you sign your name, and you send it to the VPE, saying, yes, I've done it.
Okay.
And obviously you will see the speech that the person gives, but you're just basing it on goodwill that they've actually done the 2 weeks worth of journaling.
Yeah.
With their signature.
Yeah, but what else can you do, you know?
Yeah.
And this is, and we're not auditors. I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, why, if they, yeah. Exactly.
So do you have any other questions?
Not right now. I need to, I'm excited about it because I think it looks, okay, so the first time I joined Toastmasters was like in the mid 80s. And I don't know how long I was a Toastmaster back then. But then I joined it for a year in 2010 when I started my PhD. And then you just get so busy when you're doing your PhD that you just don't have time for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't changed. You know, I mean, I'm sure it has, but I mean, it's always you start with the icebreaker speech and then go on. So this is really cool, I think.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was just going to show you because I looked at it is the feedback here.
Mm-hmm.
So what this is, once the club gets really involved and more people have joined up in our club, then you can say, I'd like to hear your thoughts on my latest speech, whatever.
Oh, kind of like I did with when
Yes.
you and Avital were so nice to
Yes.
help me with my
Mm-hmm.
first class presentation.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And you can even request specific people, and you can see everyone or just the base camp managers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even ask for not anonymous responses, so you don't feel the pressure of, oh, so-and-so is evaluating me. But with our club, there is somewhere where you should be able to look specifically for our club. And I think if you go here, okay then. So these are the members who have joined.
Oh, that's cool, isn't it? Oh, I'm glad John's joined.
Yeah, so wow. Okay.
And Julia has too. Good.
So it has 17 people on here.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of people. I thought River Benson kind of quit the group.
She did, so I'm not sure. Okay.
That looks like everybody that's in our group. Because
Yeah,
I sent out an email, that's about how many people, like 17 people.
Yeah, so let's look at Avital because she said that she started. And so this may be the thing that we as in you would need to update is just that she has a mentor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's
well that's the fact that she's a Pathways mentor. So
she is a Pathways mentor, right?
No, not yet. Not until she gets to level 2.
Okay, but that's what that checkbox was for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's not you. I was thinking that meant that she was assigned a mentor. But these are all our members who are ready. They have an account here. They just need to log in.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's, again, you said there were 17. I think that's probably everybody.
Brian Haggerty, Brian Norris, Lyman's, Krista. Oh. What's this?
Who's that?
I think this is
that's
our club.
Oh.
Interesting. Well, it's nice to know that Julia is officially on there.
Yeah.
But we can do this actually, I think, to anyone. So actually, Toast of Corvallis. I don't know what people. I need everything. Apparently not. Apparently we can just search for our own club. That's good to know. But we should be able to talk within our club, like what I just showed you. So if you search for our club again, I could go to Julia, because she's here, and I can both email her, but I should be able to
you can put in a picture too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Options. View all feedback requests. So this is to see if they've asked you to. So like with your speech that you talked about. That.
Oh yes,
You could specifically ask me to review that speech on Basecamp. The other thing is if you haven't got an evaluation for a speech that you've done, and you know your evaluator is on Basecamp, you can go to them and say, I'm requesting your feedback, please. Please give me my evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that you can easily do. You can also provide feedback, and this is how you give a badge. So like say Julia has given her first speech.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that she was courageous,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can say why she was courageous and post it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
And then her portfolio will show you how many badges she's got so
Mhm.
far, which is none so far.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't started very much. But anyway, that is kind of an overview. Oh, and here is the tutorials. Tutorials
Okay.
upon tutorials upon tutorials on
Cool.
anything you could possibly want.
Did you watch them all?
I did.
Well, but good for you for doing your job. I mean, well, thank you. I mean, I'm trying to, I mean that very positively. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, when I first got onto Pathways, I made sure to look at them all just to make sure I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it walked me through everything so I could try to figure out whatever problems that you may have.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be able to answer it, which
Yeah.
is why if you look at my transcript, I'll actually show it to you.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
This shows the active ones.
Uh-huh.
This shows the completed ones.
Okay.
They're all tutorials.
Okay. Wow. Good for you. Thank you for doing that, Lorelei. No, seriously. I feel, I mean, I'm just so grateful for you doing this because, yeah, you're taking this job very seriously, and I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I try to be as much help as I can. And I'm recording this, so hopefully those who are not able to make it today can listen to this and see what Pathways is and hopefully get some help out of this. But if that is all the questions you have, I will let you get back to
grading.
Yes. And
okay.
I will get to homework.
Okay. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks a lot, Lorelei.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.